even better than...
Teams at the top separated by just 1 point. Challenge.
Yes, a very good morning to you. This is our welcome to Sunrise Sports on 96.1 FM. And I hope you are good wherever you are listening to us from. How was your weekend? I hope your weekend was fantastic. And despite Nigeria going to the Olympics and they're not winning any, this is not the first time, but there's something significant about this one. Yes, in my package this morning, the Tigers manager Rena Wakama wins Best Coaches Award at Olympic Basketball Tournament. Rangers FC sets new benchmark with record-breaking jersey sales. NFF board split on Chelsea and the St. Fit for Super Eagles coaching job. Manchester City beat Manchester United on penalty in this year's Community Shield in 4 years. MPFL champions Rangers International Football Club ink record-breaking 200 million sleeve sponsorship with Notre Tractors. Boxing coach who took Nigeria to the Olympics has no coaching license. This is coming from Effiong Iyang. This minimum will be reaching you fully sticker dial on 96.1 FM. My name is Chibuzonwe, the man you know as the only attacker precision. Yes, over the weekend I lost my match at Ngo Park and I'm not happy about it. But I have the Iroko in the studio. Yes, I'm privileged and happy to announce to you that I will be doing the sports program today with my managing director and the CEO of Enugu State Broadcasting Service, talking about Ladi Akeredolu. Saya, welcome to Sunrise Sport this morning.
Thank you very much, Chibuzo. Thank you for having me.
Yes, let's start with Rangers because I love listening local content. I like talking what is happening in our vicinity. Yes, in an unprecedented achievement for Nigerian football, the Rangers FC has set a new standard in the business of sports and merchandising by generating over 100 million naira from jersey sales last season. The milestone not only highlights the growing commercial potential within the Nigerian Premier League, but also underscores the club's rising influence on the global stage. The Nigerian champions successfully sold and distributed over 10,000 jerseys worldwide, marketing the highest sales figure ever recorded by a Nigerian football team. This remarkable feat is a testament to the club's growing fan base, both domestically and internationally, as well as their strategic efforts to market the Rangers brand beyond the borders of Nigeria. The Afrinvest, the team's shirt sponsor, this development is a significant win with over 10,000 jerseys now in circulation globally. The brand is enjoying extensive visibility, effectively turning fans into brand ambassadors. Each jersey sold represents a piece of wearable advertisement as supporters proudly display the Afrinvest logo on their chests. Whether they are in Nigeria, Europe, or the Americas. The success of Rangers FC's jersey sales campaign highlights the synergy between the sponsors and businesses, showcasing how football can serve as a powerful platform for brand exposure for Afrinvest. This is not just about sponsorship. It is a strategic partnership that leverages the club's popularity to amplify brand awareness on a global scale. Yes, so we've never had it good. Just last season, upon his take over as the governor of Enugu State, he made it very clear. But I remember I was the day he presented his manifesto. Though he did not mention football particularly, he mentioned table tennis. Although Rangers has taken over everything now, and because in less than 1 year Rangers won the league, they were placed 12th when they left Oka, from Nnewi to Oka to Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, and he fast-tracked the renovation of Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, which made the Rangers to come back, and they won the league. Apart from winning the league, this is unprecedented, selling over 10,000 jerseys and making over 100 millions in profit. I don't know what you have to say concerning that.
Chibuzo, you see, the thing, and this is what has always been said about sports and the business of sports. When investors, potential investors, actual investors see that there's a serious plan, there is a plan that is being implemented for a particular organization. In this case, we're talking about Rangers Football Club. Now, Rangers has a brand already. Rangers is well known. I mean, in its heydays back then, everybody knew Rangers and so on. And then, it suffered, like many other things in Nigeria, it suffered a nosedive. But when His Excellency came on board as governor, as you pointed out, he didn't specifically mention football or Rangers. But when he actually set about it, the moves he made with reference to Rangers, particularly what you talked about in terms of the stadium, indicated to people that, look, okay, here's someone with a plan. And that plan is being implemented. That Rangers won the Premiership in the very first season that he was governor is not really surprising because the plan encompasses so many things. I mean, I've had cause to speak to the Rangers GM and the sports commissioner about this entire plan. Rangers is the most manifest yet, but there are other plans that have to do with athletics, that have to do with table tennis, as you pointed out, and a couple of other sports. Those will, of course, come out in the days and weeks to come. But to talk specifically about the jersey contract, one would not say Rangers is lucky. One would say the people who have gotten the sleeve contract are the ones who are lucky. Because Rangers is going to play in the CAF Champions League. And God willing, they're
just
going
next
to go,
weekend.
Yes, they are going to go some distance in that endeavor. So you have this person who has their sleeves, and many people, especially on the continent, probably have not heard of this company before. So they are leveraging on the fact that Rangers is going to be playing. It's going to be broadcast in some cases live, in some other cases it's going to be rebroadcast. And a lot of people are going to be introduced to that brand and to that club in this Champions League season. And of course, the Rangers itself has shown some ambition in terms of those that they have tried to bring on board. I guess that in the days past and in the days to come, you will still be talking about those they've tried to bring in to beef up the team. The other day I heard you talk with some of your guests about the fact that one of the things that Rangers had as a problem last season was the fact that they weren't scoring goals. And therefore they needed some top-line strikers and they needed some midfielders. I assume that that's also going to be in the package. But to speak specifically of this branding, don't be surprised if many more people come on board.
Yes, but there's something that is we have to point out here. It's not all about the jersey, because when you print a jersey that is not marketable, apart from the sponsor, yes, when you look at it, they have white and red jerseys,
right?
But the white one is the one that a lot of people likes because the way they design it. And remember last week, the general manager was in my studio, and he said, in between 9 and the 30th of, I think they are going to use the new jersey.
Yes, for the...
They opened the thing and said people should send the way they want the new jersey to be designed, which a lot of people, they've chosen the one they want. Said, if I should see this one, in fact, they want to print over 50,000 because
they are sure that
inside
Nnamdi
Azikiwe, they just concluded Coast City pre-season tournament. There's this man that came from US. He said that he's not happy. That he was telling people, his friends over there, about Rangers jerseys, and they said, okay, you should buy the thing. And said that he went to them and said there was no jersey again. So he was not happy about it. But the general manager told me that the way they are planning it, they want to make sure that the jersey can be sold through DHL and the rest of them. That if
so
you anywhere you want the jersey, they will send it to you. Not you mustn't be physically present before you can get it. So it shows that Amobi Ezako, the commission and the state that sponsored the team, I think they are doing very, very well, because there are some other teams that are pumping money more than the Rangers, and you can't see any result coming out from that. So we must commend them. But apart from this, there's another thing that happened last week, because they entered into a contract again with an agricultural company, which because of the time I'm not going to be reading out, but they are going to be giving Rangers 200 million every year, and just for Rangers to be showcasing their this on their jerseys. So I always tell people, there's in my village, there's this man, after my village to another, this man, he's dead now, but up to this month I don't know his real name. He has this motorcycle. Anytime he's coming, there's a very big hill in my distance. You'll be hearing, "Up Rangers!" Everybody, all the small children, everybody will sharing money and giving gifts, and the rest of them. Till this moment, I don't know his real name. So that is how far Rangers can go. And we are very happy that Governor, in his wisdom, he went and brought a movie that has passion for what he's doing. Because there are two things that you're a PhD holder, and you went into the class to teach, you don't know how to teach. You must have passion for what you are doing.
That's right.
Anytime you see, even Amobi, anytime he doesn't sit down, when in a friendly match, you see Amobi standing up, shouting like he's the coach.
The coach,
so
right.
Because he doesn't want Rangers to lose any game.
That's right. The thing is this. At the beginning, I talked about a plan.
Yeah.
And you can see where this plan is going. You will remember that when you were doing the review of Rangers' season, and generally the MPFL season, you and your guests on that occasion talked about the fact that logistics usually proves to be a difficult problem. You have to go by road from one area to the other, there are accidents and all that. And it all boils down to this issue of money. If you don't have the money, you can't really do all these things. Whereas we know other places where clubs actually fly. Many of the clubs that come to play CAF Champions League here, they are brought here by
chartered flight.
Chartered flight brings them here. So while we are going from base to the stadium by road, they have flown down, and the difference usually shows. So in this particular instance, if there is money, as there is now, and it's proving that there will be more money, because the state government, in spite of all this, is not going to stop its own part of the deal. So if there is money and it's properly and prudently managed, you can believe that, there will be even better results. And you can picture Rangers doing very well in the CAF Champions League and what that in itself will bring. So the investors will not even be limited to Nigeria or the Southeast. They will be talking about people who see the brand as something to be leveraged on from even outside Nigeria.
There's something I told the general manager the other time, although he currently decided not to answer the question, because a lot of their big names left after winning the league.
Right.
Somebody like Kanweke, their highest goal scorer, he went to Oman. The other one went to Rwanda, Chidebere Wobodo. Their captain also left to Eyimba. So I was asking, he said that their captain said that he wants to stay closer to his family. You know, he's from Abia State.
That's right.
Another one that his family is in Abia State. But an insider told me that why many of them left, because of the money they are paying them. If you're a big player and you are doing very, very well, just like in English Premier League,
That's right.
if they know that there is a lot of suitors, what they usually do is that they review your contract and increase the thing. So all this money, because I know that there is always subvention from state government every month. Anytime they are going for matches, I know that they give them a huge amount of money. So why can't they increase this money? Because bringing new players, quite well that it's going to be very difficult for the club to gel and play. They are going to be playing their first game against a club from Comoros Island. They won their league, though they've adopted the gospel like Bible said as their home base. So they will be playing all through. The two matches are going to be played there. So, but the question: do they have the team to challenge the likes of Al Ahly of Egypt, Zamalek of Egypt, Esperance of Tunisia, TB Mazembe of Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, and the host of? He said that once they play 2 or 3 matches, in fact, it's going to. And their coach is saying that they have a team, but let's watch and see. But what I'm asking, this money, all this sponsorship deal, the Afro-Invest is paying 150 million every football season. These people are now paying 200 million naira plus the one that has been coming from individuals, which they may not have made open to people to know. Is it not better that they increase them so that if you are playing for Rangers, you play with your heart all out and give them the result instead of allowing their big players to be going?
I will answer that question from two sides. First of all, from my own knowledge of this, I used to be a sports editor before this appointment, and many of these contracts, the money is not paid in bulk and upfront.
You're very correct.
What you learn is that they tell you the total value, but they don't pay it up front. Many of the organizations involved will not pay you that money up front. That's number one. Number two is that you find also that in many instances, because the money is so spread out, making it easy for the person giving you. You who is receiving, you can't really make too much plans on the basis of receiving any bulk.
Does it mean the company itself cannot tell them, look at the percentage you are going to give us, to give us that leverage to use the money?
Well, that would have been in the negotiations, because I'm not 100% sure.
But you are making a point, because some people say that 50 million naira every
I mean, that would amount to a lot of money. I mean, if you look at it. But then, if at the end of the day you are not getting 50 million, you are getting maybe 10 or 8, and spread over, I mean, some of these contracts are 2 years, so you're talking of 24 months. So if you say 200 million naira contract, for example, broken down to 24 months, how much does that amount to every month? So the thing is that that's on one hand. On the other hand, you see players, because they have a fairly short lifespan, let me put it that way, playing career. They want to maximize at every opportunity. They want to maximize. I understand the person you talked about who says his family is in Abia and therefore he wants to be closer. That may actually be the main reason. It may also not be, but that may also be the main reason.
Just to give Rangers for him to go because
that's
of
it, to be able to go. But the one who moved to Oman, for example, you can see, he doesn't have to tell you, the main reason why he's moved to Oman is money. He's going to earn whatever he's going to earn in Oman in dollars. Because
even in Rwanda here, they pay in dollars.
That's it. So the person who moved to Rwanda has the same basic reason. Money. And then depending on how old these players are, they may calculate that, I have maybe 5 years of my playing career left. Because of course we continue to have the problem of football ages.
The other one is 30. You're very correct.
They can do the calculation and say, look, let me use the last couple of years and make some money. So going to Oman, going to Rwanda, and so on are better than staying with Rangers, which is an ongoing project. Before Rangers gets to the level where they can possibly compete at that level in terms of pay packet, it will take some time. Maybe by that time he will be due to retire, so he won't be prepared to wait.
Actually, I was told that unconfirmed report is that he's earning above 3 million naira every month, but here is not in. I think below 500,000 naira.
So
the difference is very.
If that is correct, so put yourself in it.
So I don't blame you. Yes, yes. Let's go over to Paris because a lot of things happened over there. Yes, they just concluded Paris Olympics has been nothing short of an interesting and exhilarating tournament. The games with the motto "Games Wide Open." Yes, if you speak it in French, it's Ouvrons Grand Les Jeux, which held in capital of France. The Paris Olympics witnessed the participation of 10,714 athletes drawn from 216 countries with a total of 1,436 medals won. Yes, leading the medals table is the United States with a total of 126, while China follows with 91. Both countries, however, had a tie of 40 gold medals. Host nation France backed a total of 64 medals with 16 golds. Kenya is the first African country on the medal table with 4 gold, 2 silver, and 5 bronze medals. We can authoritatively reveal to you that the top 10 countries amass 4.11% of the total medals at the games. Yes, if I should break it down, don't ask me where Nigeria is placed because we did not win anything. We came back with that. The only thing we won was that our 33-year-old basketball coach talking about the Okreka trained basketball coach Reno Mokre was awarded the best coach of the tournament basketball. But when you look at the medal table, you have a USA 40 gold, 44 silver, and 42 bronze, making it 120. Followed by China 40 gold, 27 silver, 24 bronze, making it 91. Japan came third with 20 gold, 12 silver, 13 bronze, making it 45. And on. Australia fourth, France fifth, Netherlands sixth, Great Britain seventh, South Korea eighth, Italy ninth, and Germany 10th. Then from African, you have Kenya placed on 17th, having won 4 gold, 2 silver, and 5 bronze medals. So that is how it is pan out. But let's talk that one, because our sports minister, Senator John Ewa, has been begging a lot of Nigerians to he has apologized on behalf of the Olympic for the abysmal showing of our team to the Olympics, and we had about 27 games we participated in. About 92 athletes participated, but nothing to show for it.
Well, again, this issue of apologizing after every abysmal outing, it does not really work. I'm not as fixated as many people were on the fact that we won nothing. About 80 other countries won nothing. Ghana among them, Liberia among them. No country on the West African coast, for example, won any medal. So Nigeria, in that respect, is not particularly unique. But I guess people are talking from the aspect of what we had going into it, and then the various things that happened in the run-up to the games and the games themselves.
During the games,
I mean, those things didn't happen with those other people. So when people say Nigeria's own is different, that's what they mean. For example, an athlete qualified. I mean, I know it has been spoken about repeatedly, but it never grows old, as some people would say.
Not at all.
An athlete qualified. You have the records of the athlete's qualification. 100 meters, 200 meters, 4 by 100 meters. And somehow, that athlete got registered for 200 meters, 4 by 100 meters, but somebody who has remained nameless, we haven't discovered who that person is. The Minister of Sports promised an investigation. We don't know where that is going to go. I hope it doesn't go the way of many Nigerian investigations, which is that nobody will be identified. It will be chalked down to some technicality, and then. But that lady missed out on participating in the 100 meters. Talking of favor of Philly.
Demoralized her.
Very demoralizing, and it showed in the way she reacted when it happened. As if that was not enough, we were still trying to digest that. Then the whole issue of bicycle came up, and the same thing happened. An athlete qualified for a tournament. They didn't register her. By the time they registered her, it was very late. So at that point in time, there was no machine to ride. If not for the Germans who stepped in, to offer her, in the spirit of sportsmanship, a bicycle. That was later denied by the sporting authorities that, there is no.
But the athlete said it herself, because he cannot deny that.
Why would he say something that didn't happen in order to bring down the country, and then you wouldn't sanction him? He's not been sanctioned if he's lying. Now, a number of other things happened, and it tended to give the impression that, like in many instances, we were not prepared for these games. Everybody knows, and it has been said ever since 1984 Olympics, which was in Los Angeles, that the Olympics is a 4-year event.
Exactly.
As soon as one is over, like this one is over, it was over yesterday, there are countries that immediately start preparing for the next one, 2028 in Los Angeles. We will go to sleep, as a matter of fact, start from the point that the athletes will not return to Nigeria as a delegation. They will not be received by anybody. And they will all scatter. Those who came from the US will go back. Those who came from Europe will go back. Those who were home-based athletes will return in ones and twos and so on, and disappear. nobody will mention anything about the Olympics anymore until maybe 6 months or 5 months to 2028 Olympics. Then we'll start with this fire brigade thing. We've been doing this for decades. And every time, it's like there's a book somewhere they put on a shelf. You know, when it is time, they go and pick that book from the shelf and repeat it. Because whenever it is, because I've over the last 2-3 days, I've listened to a lot of commentators on radio and TV. And people were saying, yes, but you know, the 1996, it was our best outing. It was our best outing if it was. It was not as a result of, for those of us who
preparation.
It was not because of preparation. It was individual
efforts.
Chioma Ajunwa, the policeman who Segun Odegbami at the time was her mentor and so on. He was responsible for her. Then of course we knew what happened with the Dream Team, which won the other gold medal in 1996. The last real set of medals that Nigeria won in any of these Olympics were all these individual efforts. I remember, I can't quite remember his name now, Enefiok something, who ran the concluding leg of a 4x400 meters, which gave Nigeria the bronze. And then later on, those who won silver were disqualified, so it was bumped up to silver. Now, all these were individual. None was a result of preparation, because part of preparation is this. Part of preparation is this. You watch your athletes. Why did Tobi Amushov not win, or not even do very well? Burnout. Because she has to earn money for her upkeep, she doesn't get anything from the federation, and so on. So she has to run all these Goldie League, indoor meets, and so on and so forth, with the result that by the time the big ones come, she's tired. And the people who have kept their strength during the last year plus are the ones who come out and win. This happens to us all the time, because our athletes, by the time they get to the big competition, they've run out of energy. They've run out of purpose. They are just too tired. And they are competing against people who have kept most of their energy for the last year or two and who have been monitored. The other thing that happened during this Olympics that has always happened to us at big international sporting events is that you find somebody who tests positive for banned substance. And then you start arguing, no, it was in cough syrup. No, it was in the food she ate. No, it was in this one. Who is monitoring what these athletes do out of season, out of competition? Who is monitoring? Nobody. And yet we have the Athletics Federation, you have the Olympic Committee, and so on, who are supposed to keep,
doping department.
Who are supposed to keep an eye. There is an athlete in this, even in this 2024 Olympics, who was disqualified right even before the Olympics got underway because she did not have enough out-of-season drug tests. Is somebody who is supposed to monitor that. It's somebody who is supposed to be in charge of that. But my fear is this. One of the things that we learned in going through some of the positions that we have held is they call it consequence management. When things happen, who is held responsible? Who is responsible for that thing?
Nobody.
What happens to that person? So that the next person who is in that position knows that if I do this thing wrong, this is the penalty. This is what is going to happen. But because nobody has ever been held responsible, people get away with it.
But in your own assessment, if you are to give in a very big hammer now, who do you think the hammer should fall on? Is it the minister or the federation chairman, president? Because this thing, minister, he just came barely just a year.
It's not even up to a year.
Do you understand? So if personally I will exonerate to the minister because all these people manning our federations, what have they been doing?
And if you notice, as part of the review that the minister has promised, he said, he was going to take a very keen interest in ensuring that this time, because the federation elections are due in a couple of weeks, that this time the right people are to be put.
Do you think it is easy like that?
Well, it comes from the fact that he has just arrived. There were ministers before him. In fact, I believe the sports ministry has had the most ministers of all the ministries in Nigeria. If you go back in history, because again, it speaks to the way we think sports is.
Yeah.
Because okay, there's no post left to give to this man, and it's very important that we settle him, so put him in sports. There is very little thought process given to
Ex-international.
that's it. People who have been involved, people who know how athletes feel, how athletes think, how athletes behave, so that they can say, oh, look, I mean, it's a common saying that to catch a thief, you have to be a thief yourself, or you have to think like a thief. Now, if you want the athletes to perform, they must be able to look back and see the people that they were looking at when they were much younger.
Yeah.
Who are the ones telling them, no, I've tried that thing, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
This is the better way to do it, and so on and so forth. But when the people they are looking at, first of all, at most of the levels of the federations, the secretaries of the federations, who are the ones who effectively run the show. For example, who are the people who will register people for competitions, who will check how many out of competition drug tests you've had, and so on, are mostly civil servants. They are brought from the main ministry to those federations. Is the chairman of the federation, who, for all practical purposes, is a part-time appointee, who we will all hold responsible, because that's the one that we know. The secretary of the federation, most people don't know. Everybody is pointing fingers now at the chairman of the president of the AFN. And some will say, oh yeah, he should be fired. Since you asked the question about who should pay the price, he should be fired. They should bring back Dan Ngerem. I wish to remind people that Dan Ngerem, who is a very good friend of mine, by the way, left in anger, left in frustration. So it's not as if he's sitting somewhere waiting to be invited back. He's not. The system that has produced this kind of problem that we have is what we need to dismantle. If you persuade President Bola Tinubu to send away Senator Eno, and even the president himself now takes over the sports ministry, nothing is going to happen. Nothing positive is going to happen, because it is a systemic problem. You have to have a vision, you have to have a mission, and then you now put in place a structure that helps you attain that vision. For example, as we finish this Olympics now, there should be a sit-down, some kind of strategy session to review what has happened at this Olympics. Apportion issues according to who are responsible, mete out punishments where it is appropriate, and then now set out a strategy plan. Okay, between now and 2028, where is Toby Amusha? Okay, between now and then, she will run 5 races a year. To ensure that she doesn't do more than that, to ensure that she's sustained, here is $10,000 every quarter towards her upkeep. So that she doesn't have to run that. The same thing with Favor Ofili. The same thing with all the other athletes.
And the rest of them.
That's it. To say, look, we recognize that you run for us. We recognize that you jump for us. We recognize that you are representing us. And it's not only when it is time for competition that we recognize that. Many of our athletes, because I know that a lot of noise was also made about the fact that there are so many athletes who obviously bear Nigerian names.
If you wait,
who are running for
since you've gone that, let me just tell our listener that while Team Nigeria will be returning home empty-handed from the Paris 2024 Olympics, athletes of Nigerian origin made their mark on the global stage, winning 4 medals for the adopted country. The medal tally of these diaspora athletes is almost at par with the country's best ever outing at the Olympics Games, when Nigeria won 2 gold, 1 silver, and 3 bronze medals at the Atlanta 96 Olympics. So I don't know, through the outing in Paris marks the 8th time Nigerian will finish the Olympics Games without a medal. Analysts contend it is the worst ever, given the number of athletes, 88.
Yes.
Yes, and sports 12, the country participated at the Paris. From day one, it was a tale of raised and then dashed hopes for Team Nigeria athletes. At other times, it happened at a hard luck, while in many other instances, Team Nigerian athletes were just not as good as their counterparts from other countries. Let me just tell you that Yemisi Ogunleye, German's golden girl, Yemisi, born in Nigeria to a Nigerian father from Omu-Okiti in Ekiti State, made history by winning gold in the shot put for Germany. Yes, I don't know. Then the second one is Silva Edi Nassar, Bahrain silver sensation, a silver head and I have won a Ebele Chukwu, Antoinette, Abapu.
Yes.
Nigeria started out fully in her country's birth. She even competed and won at the Nigerian Youth Games where her potential was undeniable. And but having failed to get the right to support, she switched allegiance to Bahrain in 2014 and converted to Islam, adopting her new faith. That move has proved to be a smart one, as Nasser has continued to win medals for the oil-rich kingdom. The latest being the 400 meter silver medal at the 400 meters women event. Another one is Annette Echukwuwoke, American hammer throw hero. Echukwuwoke was born and raised in Pakistan, Ohio by Nigerian parents. She was set to represent Nigeria at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics but was ruled ineligible. A year after the unfortunate development in Tokyo, Chukwuwoke switched allegiance back to the United States. She competed back to the United States. She competed for America and won silver in the hammer throw at the Paris Olympics. Then the last one is Samu Omorodion. Omorodion, Spain's golden footballer, born in Malila, a Spanish enclave to Nigerian parents. Omorodion moved to Sevilla at a young age where she was raised. Omorodion, eligible to play for Nigeria, helped Spain win gold in the men's football event. This is disheartening.
It may be disheartening, but it's certainly not
We wouldn't
surprising.
want to go back to Francis Obikwere.
Because I was going to say that.
Alozie and the rest of them.
Because it's not the first time. So many Nigerians having been treated shabbily, badly.
Does it mean that these people that are managing our sport, they don't feel the pains watching Nigerians compete?
Well, because many of the people who run our sports are not athletes. They are not sports people. They are not footballers. They've never done any sports, so they don't know what it's like when, for example, an athlete is injured.
Yeah.
And he or she is now looking out at those that he or she is representing to see what their reaction will be to our to what has happened to me. You must recollect what happened to Dosu Joseph shortly after the Olympics.
Yeah.
And the accident he had in Lagos and what subsequently happened and all of that. Look, it's been a long history. Let me add one more name to the list of names you put there, because the list is quite long. There's somebody called Idris Femi Bam Adebayo. He's a member of the U.S. basketball team.
Yes.
He plays for Miami Heat.
Yeah.
That won the gold medal. He's a Nigerian. And there are people in other places who have done us well. Francis Obikwelu was running for Nigeria. I'm happy you pointed that out. He was running for Nigeria here. He ran, was treated badly, had all these administrative snaffles, holding on to his career, and then he switched allegiance. I think he moved to Portugal or Spain. And the very next international tournament after he moved, he won a silver medal. And then subsequently he won gold. Gloria Aloze's boyfriend was shot dead in Lagos in the run-up to a particular tournament. She insisted that she was going to run. I think it was an Olympics. She insisted that she was going to run. She went ahead, she ran. At the end of the tournament, no counseling was provided, no therapy was provided for someone who lost her fiancé in the run-up to this. And shortly after that, she also decamped. She also ported. I believe she also ported to Portugal or Spain, one of those two countries. And you see, at the end of the day, all that it shows us is that the talent is there, the skill is there.
Yeah.
What is missing and has almost always been missing is the management of. Because it's not enough to have talent. There are lots of countries that have talent. How do you manage them? Why would Germany, the United States, take a Nigerian athlete and within a year or two, that's it, that Nigerian athlete is winning them medals? It is a function of, I wouldn't call myself athletic, but as a much younger person, I saw what people were doing with people in my bracket in terms of those who were quite ready to take athletics seriously or take sports seriously, whether they were footballers or runners or jumpers and so on. They started doing things like monitoring their diet, what they eat.
You don't eat anyhow.
That's it. What they drink, which medications they take, where they go, how they react to weather conditions, what allergies do they have, and whether you wear cotton socks or nylon socks. I mean, things as down to earth as that. Yeah. Do they run better in higher altitudes? Why are the Kenyans dominant in the middle and long distance races? Someone took it upon themselves to say, okay, good. These guys, this is what is their skill. Can we manage this to produce results? So, what we have here is a management problem. Yeah. In sports, it's always been a management problem. The most famous sport in Nigeria is football. It has the same problem.
1 month to our Nations Cup we will not been able to appoint a new coach.
And there's no team.
NFF is divided on whom to appoint a chair or send fee.
Good. Now, that contest can continue till the week of the first game. And then when we go to that tournament and then we don't do well, we all begin to ask questions. Yes, and then, of course, in the usual panic reaction, that coach who was appointed 1 week to the tournament will be fired.
The scapegoat.
Yes, they'll scapegoat him, and fire him. Now, many people also don't realize that management is a long-term thing. Yeah. There are no magicians anywhere. Anybody who has produced magic for you is precisely that. It's magic. After some time, it's going to unravel, because the things that last take time to put in place. It's easier to destroy things than it is to build things. So it takes time to build. Now, if you want to make someone a star in 2028, it's now you start grooming the person. You start watching the person's diet, the kind of exercises the person does, the kind of medications, who the person mixes with, who they see, the kind of schedule or lifestyle they take, and so it's now. When that person, why is it that you find out that most of the time, every Olympics produces new stars? There's this Marchand guy of France. 4 years ago, or 3 years ago in Tokyo, who had heard of him? Nobody. He won 4 gold medals in the pool. There are several other people like that who came out, but they are not they are not emergency athletes. They've been grooming them.
The thing is that looking at even the Asians, when you watch China, Japan that came third,
yeah,
you notice that all the athletes, I've watched them closely. There's nobody that is above 20 years.
No.
Then come to Nigeria here, this National Sports Festival. For the past 5 years now, 5 editions, Delta has been winning the thing, and nobody has ever asked questions. I took time to ask somebody that knew said what they usually do after the tournament. They have the money, just like every other state. There's no state that doesn't have money. They will come to Enugu and go to Sports Council, ask questions, look at the best hands in weightlift, and then they will take the person to Delta. How much are you paying? Enugu state government is not paying them. They will say, okay, we shall be paying you 100,000 naira a month. Come and run for us. They will give you employment.
Right.
Giving you. But by the time, they go and pack all the best hands and legs and put them in camping, feeding them. There's no way any other state can go against them. Just like what we are saying. The people that are managing, look at Aruna Quadri. He's number 1 before the tournament. The first match, he was leading 3-0. The last one, the guy came back and won him.
Yes.
Boxing that is supposed to be our mainstay, that used to be our mainstay. Look at what an analyst, Effiong Eyong, is saying that the man that our coaching this has no boxing license. Then who is doing us this thing?
If you take a look, there was an analysis done of the delegation. And this has always been part of our problem. 88 athletes went to the 2024 Olympics. Almost 200 officials accompanied them. So there were virtually 2 officials for every athlete. The question you ask is, what were those officials doing? Because among those officials, there was no physiotherapist.
At all.
There was no psychologist. And so, who were these officials? And what was their business in Paris? What were they doing in Paris? You see, again, it comes back to this issue of management and how we are managing things. The difficulty that comes from not properly managing things is always where we have issues. Look, we have, okay, you mentioned football just now, and the fact that we have not appointed a new coach. Why are we having difficulty with appointing a new coach? Because we are limited to a particular cadre of coaches. Coaches who are prepared to do deals.
Apart from that, I'm very happy you mentioned that.
Coaches who are prepared to do deals, who are prepared to say, yes, well, if you want this particular player to play, I'm willing to allow you play. Not the kind of coach who would, Jose Mourinho, for example, who would say, if you want that player, that if you want that player, then you become the coach. I'm off. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And he will sue you for breach of contract and get his money. But we are not prepared to go for those kind of people because we don't have the discipline or the management for those kind of people to work within our system. That we do not. So where all of this is going, Chibuzo, is that like our sports managers have to gather them, sit them down, and tell them some real truths.
But we have to start with the sports minister. Let it be an ex-international, somebody that knows sports.
It is true. That could be a starting point. However, I don't want to overemphasize that, and the reason is simple. The sports minister sits at the apex. Yeah. The people who actually do the work for the sports minister,
federation presidents,
federation presidents, federation secretaries, and so on, those people are equally important. They are very, very important. If we do not take those people on board and like retune them, you talked earlier about the fact that many of the positions are occupied by non-athletes. That in itself is a misnomer. Yeah. The president of the International Athletics Federation is Sebastian Coe. I remember watching Sebastian Coe as a much younger person. Yeah. He's a middle distance runner. He won gold medal for Britain in the 90s. You can follow the progression. So when those kind of people, Sergei Bubka, former world record holder in pole vault, for a long time was chairman of the Ukrainian Athletics Federation. So you want to see a certain progression, and because the truth of the matter is that we can have this discussion. We have had the discussion, but after the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, which took place in 2021, people had similar discussions. Right from the 80s, we've been having this discussion after every Olympics. We come back, we bemoan our fate, but then nothing changes. One can only hope that, as this one has ended and there has been so much noise made about the fact that this is a most disappointing, it's an unfortunate happening, it didn't happen to us, and so on and so forth, that momentum of anger will carry on to policy change, to so in many instances personnel change, because again, as I said, the Commonwealth Games is there, the International Athletics Federation World